Hey, what's up guys? Welcome back to the DBPT cast. I'm your host, Cade Baker, and the secondary host sitting right next to me right now is...
Darren Baker, and how we doing, guys?
Hope you're all doing well. I hope you're having a good day. And we're here today to talk about quite a big subject. Obesity is the elephant in the room.
That's a bit rude way of saying it. What are you saying? That's a great start to our podcast. We're already being rude to people. Before we start this, guys, we just want to make it clear we're not dietitians nor nutritionists. We're nutrition coaches. We're not. Can we help people? Yes, we've helped hundreds of people. But we're just going to talk about obesity today because through our study we've come across a document from the House of Commons Library. It's a briefing paper, and it's obesity statistics. So we're just going to discuss them and then put our input into that. So take that as you will.
Cool.
So what we'll do, we'll go through the stats, basically, some of the stats, and we'll read them out to you. Generally, they're of interest. So the obesity levels are highest amongst aged 45 to 54 year olds. There's not a lot in it, but the age between 45 and 54, they have the highest obesity levels at 36%. So 36% of people between 45 and 54 are obese, which is bloody huge, isn't it, really?
Yeah, it is. And the obesity levels have increased from 15% to 29% since 1993. Now that's quite a big jump, actually, isn't it?
So the
14%.
The actual levels of people that are overweight and obese
Yes.
is 64%. So 64% in the UK are overweight and obese. That's
really embarrassing.
Which is amazing, really.
Yeah.
So, 64% of people are overweight and obese. We were going to make this a children obesity study because it's becoming more children becoming more obese, and it's something that's quite passionate to us because there's really no need for it.
And if you're an adult and you're overweight or obese, that's fair enough. You've made that choice. But if for a child, they're relying on the parent for them to be fed, and it's not their fault if they are overweight or obese.
I think we'll cover some of the reasons why we think people are.
So basically, to start this off, 1 in 10 children are obese by age 5, rising to 1 in 5 by age 11.
So hold on, 1 in 10 children. 1 in 10 children are obese by age 5.
That sounds stupid.
1 in 10 by age 5.
That sounds stupid.
Rising to 1 in 5 by the age 11. That's just horrific. We'll get to we think the reasons why. So again, 1 in 10 children is obese by age 5, and 1 in 5 children are obese by age 11.
So there's a rapid change in the ages of 5 to 10. You see, when it gets to 10 and 11, that's a significantly higher percentage than when they were younger. So,
what's interesting, maybe we'll cover this now, but deprived children are more likely to be obese. So, why do we think that is?
Well, so I came up with a conclusion for this one that, it shows that...
It's a combination of things. No one knows. It is a combination. Yeah. We don't have the answer. It's a combination of things. But we're just going to say what we think. This is not...
It looks like the component of the quality of food that people eat has a lot to do with it. It seems that the deprived children are having, let's say, lesser quality food than perhaps people with, how do you say it? With like not
middle
deprived.
class.
Middle class.
Yeah,
that's
middle
good.
class,
Yeah. So buying healthy fruit, vegetables, salad, things like that are much more expensive than a 99p cheeseburger from McDonald's. As what we could say, and it shows here that the more deprived children that you'd think would have less food are more overweight. So it's
quality of food.
It looks like quality,
of course, it's about calories. They may be eating less food, but are gaining more calories from highly or ultra processed foods. So maybe that's it. They're just eating cheap foods that are highly processed that contain more calories, and obviously calories do matter. Where the middle class may be, just eating more vegetables and more unprocessed foods.
Yeah,
that can make a difference.
It looks that way.
Also, I also think, maybe education as well. Education is a big part.
Yeah, that's a good point.
If you know, are the, and this is not aimed at any single people, but parents need to be educated themselves so they can pass it on to their children. So, in the deprived areas, maybe they're not as educated as on food.
Yes.
Not overall, but they're not as educated on food as maybe people, middle class upwards. Horrible thing to say, but possibly that's a couple of the reasons.
It looks that way.
So, so children that are deprived are more obese, which is crazy, really.
So here we go.
So, back to adults. So, out of every 1,000 adults, 287 are obese. So, 287 out of 1,000 adults in England are obese. This is all based on England. I said UK earlier. These are England. Okay, I think Wales and Scotland are separate, but this is England. So, 287 in England are obese.
And 36 are morbidly obese.
So, 36 are morbidly
obese.
So 287 are obese out of this. Again, it's huge. And then on the back of that, 356 are overweight.
Yeah.
So, as we say, if you're of normal weight, you're what's the word? You're not the average anymore.
Well, looking at it this way, there were more people overweight than there are normal weight.
Yeah,
that's
normal
a fact.
And obese.
Yes.
So, yeah, that's crazy stats, really, when you look at it like that.
So, adult obesity in England has risen from 15% in 1993 to 29%. We read this earlier, didn't we? This one shows the chart again.
So it's nearly doubled.
Yeah.
From 1993 to 2017.
Now, what do you reckon that is? What do you reckon has changed in that time period?
I mean, it's numerous things. Again, it's numerous things.
Oh yeah.
If it was that easy, then the problem would be solved. But I do point the finger heavily at ultra processed foods. People don't appreciate how many calories there are in certain ultra processed foods, and you can't just eat what you want and get away with it. We know that. What do we teach our clients, Cade? 6 chocolate hobnobs is 600 calories. It's a massive part of your day.
And you've got to be more thoughtful than that. You can't just chuckle those down your neck and be happy about yourself. You need to think. So, health risks of obesity that they've put in here. Obesity increases the risk of other health conditions, including joint problems, lower back pain, hypertension, which is high blood pressure, coronary heart disease and stroke, deep vein thrombosis, type 2 diabetes, endometrial breast and colon cancer, stress
incontinence.
Sorry, I'm reading. Menstrual abnormalities and respiratory problems.
And that mentions nothing about the mental health issues that come from being obese as well.
Yeah.
It's all physical. I mean, the mental issues of it are bolt onto that.
As we just included earlier about education and financial and those factors, and these are rather the more physical conditions.
The fact isn't on here, but I've read a study somewhere stating now that most diseases and illness are now linked to obesity than anything else.
Hey guys, we're back. I just had to stop Leo from attacking one of his toys. So we're back now to continue. Right, so where were we?
Right, okay, so obesity levels are over 30% among those aged 45 and over. So when you get to 45 and over,
right, so
30% of people are obese. Which is
what
nuts.
happens in life when you get to 45 and over? What period you are in your life when you get to that age that could potentially increase your obesity levels? What would cause that?
Generally, metabolism might slow because you're getting older anyway. Become less active.
Yeah.
But, youngsters are getting less active now. And when you think 16 to 24-year-olds, 15% of them are obese. Mm-hmm. So about 37% of people between 16 and 24 are overweight and obese. So it's huge, really, anyway.
It's every age, really. There's not one age where it's like, that's fair enough. Most of the ages are their obesity levels. So age isn't really as much of a factor as the other ones.
Men are more likely to be obese than women, but there's not a lot in it. When you look at the statistics, not a great deal, but men are generally going to be more obese than women. So let's have a look. We're just scrolling through here, see what other points we'd like to raise.
I've got some more kid ones while you're looking.
Okay, yeah.
I'll spit some more out because I kept some of these earlier because it shocked me that the children's one really hit home when I read about some of these. So, well, as we said earlier, one in 5 children are overweight or obese when they start primary school. That rises actually to 1 in 3 when they start secondary school, which is such a silly high amount. And it said here that on the article it states that by 2020 it's estimated half of all children will be overweight or obese, and that's scary. That really is scary. Do you have one you're going to say, or shall I carry on?
Look at this. So again, every 1,000 10 and 11 year olds, 201 are obese, 142 are overweight. So 343 are overweight and obese out of every 1,000.
And they're 10 and 11 year olds, guys. This isn't adults.
That's
now.
crazy.
This is children.
And then 1,000 4 to 5 year olds, 95 of them are obese, with 128 being overweight. Boys are slightly more likely to be girls and obese as well, but I say it's very close. There's not a lot in it, but boys are generally, same as the men, are to be slightly more overweight. So reception year.
Yeah, again, it's very, very close.
Girls 9.1% are obese, and boys 9.9%.
Well, actually, in year 6, so when boys are about 10 or 11, the their obesity levels are 3-4% higher.
Yeah, a little bit higher. It's interesting. Right, carry on, buddy.
So the National Child Measurement Programme shows that 9.5% of reception-age children in England, aged 4 to 5, were obese in 2018, with a further 12.8% being overweight. So this is higher with children aged 10 to 11, with 20.1% being obese and 14.2% being overweight. So yeah, as you've seen again, it increases as they get to around that 10 and 11 stage. 4 to 5 is still bad, but it gets even worse by that time.
This is interesting. The economic cost of obesity. So estimates of the economic cost of obesity vary and are inherently uncertain. An influential Foresight report from 2007 estimated that NHS costs attributed to an elevated BMI, overweight and obesity were 4.2 billion in 2007. This was forecast to rise to 6.3 billion in 2015, 8.3 billion in 2025, and 9.7 billion in 2050. So it's going to boom. Basically, it's going up hugely.
Insane. And I know they had sugar tax and everything, but you think there would be a lot more things in place to stop the cost, because they're getting ripped off. Everyone's getting fat, and it costs so much for them being fat.
Well, no one really. Again, there's so many options why. People are overweight and obese, and no one's quite pinning it down. But I think sometimes people overcomplicate it.
Yeah, definitely.
And
it's a money maker again.
Yeah, well, it is.
Diets, we said this before.
All the diet programs out there and foods, and most people know they're overeating and eating wrong.
They want a quick fix.
And they continue to do it. So I think what people don't look at is the mental aspects of it as well. A lot of it. People know they're doing it wrong, but they continue to do it. So why is that? Are they addicted to food? Well, food's not addictive. Nothing's inherently addictive, really. If food was addictive, then we'd all be addicted to it, wouldn't we? And we're not all addicted to food. Some people have issues, some people don't. So it's less about it's more about having an addictive nature.
Yes.
That makes you overeat. Rather than, again, I don't personally have an addictive nature, so I don't overconsume anything, really.
No.
Whether it's alcohol, whatever it is. So again, it's not inherently addictive. You don't get addicted to it. Sugar's not addictive, because if it was, we'd all be hooked. Because I love Haribos.
Yeah, true. It is laziness. It's inconvenient for people to eat healthy. There's so many different factors.
We'll cover that at the end. We'll go over
We'll summarise everything.
So just a bit more information here. Obesity levels in countries.
Now this is interesting.
So if I was to get you guys to guess, okay, guess who's the most obese in the world? I'll give you a few seconds.
Ready?
You almost would be right.
Okay, ready? 3, 2, 1. USA. Boom.
So, yeah, pretty much everyone will guess that. So USA, 40% of the population are obese. 40% are obese. I mean, that's just ridiculous.
It's crazy.
So I'll go through this quickly. I won't read all the stats out, but USA are top the list, followed by Chile, Mexico, New Zealand, Hungary, Turkey, Canada, Australia, Finland, and then UK. So UK, 26% of the population are obese. 26%. Followed by Germany, Ireland, Luxembourg, Estonia. What's that? Czechia. I can't even say that.
Czechia.
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 Czechia?
Yeah, Czechia. It's called Czechia.
Is it?
Yeah.
We're rubbish.
No, it's no. I know.
Okay, you know what you're saying.
Czechoslovakia.
Right. Just listen to
Yeah, you've
Kate.
heard of that, haven't you? Czechoslovakia.
Yeah.
So that's Czechia.
Czechia. Okay, then Belgium, Lithuania, Korea, and then Japan.
But here's the interesting thing.
This is really interesting.
So you'll go out to Germany. Germany's 24, Ireland's 23, Luxembourg 23, Estonia 19, Czechia 19, Belgium 19, Lithuania 17, and then Korea is 6, and then Japan is 4. So they're the two lowest countries on these stats. We're 6% and 4%.
So if you compare that, the USA, 40% of people in USA are obese, and only 4% of Japan are obese. There's got to be something to learn there, isn't there? There must be something to learn. Again, why they haven't looked at Japan. I mean, some of the oldest people in the world live in Japan. So we do know...
They have a very clean way of living.
Yeah, lots of good foods, fermented foods. I think there's certain things they eat that are good. So, but 40% USA, 4% Japan. How crazy is that? That's huge, isn't it?
That's crazy.
Right, so, okay, there's a few stats for you guys. Hope you enjoyed them. And that's from a House of Commons briefing paper. And that was from 6th of August 2019. So it's quite a recent one, which is why we dug it up and we quite liked it. Right, let's think why. Let's go through some reasons why. Now, we don't know. And again, we're not dietitians nor nutritionists. But let's face it, if the government knew, then...
Yeah.
What is it? 67% of the population won't be overweight and obese. So I think that is about 67% are overweight and obese in England.
I think instead of stating things, we'll sum it up as a question like, could this be?
What could it be?
Could it be? Could it be that? Because there is no real answer. It's so many different components why people are obese. So we're just going to cover a few now.
We'll conversate together and have a little chat, I think, and then come up with what we think. So I'll start with which I think one of the main reasons is ultra-processed foods.
Yep.
Ultra-processed foods. Now, the manufacturers make these foods to be not addictive, because that's a wrong word. Nothing to addictive. They make them so you really enjoy them. I read somewhere that, like, for example, Pringles spent hundreds of thousands of pounds just perfecting the crunch to make that crunch enjoyable. Now, no foods are inherently bad for you. Overeating makes you fat. Food doesn't make you fat. Overeating does. But in a lot of these ultra-processed foods, they're full of nasties, but also they're extremely high in calories, and they don't fill you up. Now, the example we use a few examples, but like biscuits. Biscuits are evil little critters. Mm-hmm. So 6 chocolate hobnobs, around 600 calories. That's a massive part of a small female's day in calories, just in 6 biscuits, and they don't realise that. So you can't just eat a biscuit and think there's no consequence. Eating food has consequence. I often say that eating food has consequence. Eating good food is going to make you feel good. Eating bad food is going to make you feel bad. It's going to junk foods will make you feel a bit lethargic and a bit tired. Eating food has consequence, and if you're overeating highly or ultra processed foods, the chances are they're going to be more calories in them. So it's much easier to overconsume ultra processed foods than it is a massive plate full of vegetables as a comparison. So my first one is I do believe ultra processed foods, these manufacturing companies are making billions out of poisonous, pretty much. They just put all this junk in there, E numbers, all these nasty things in there, and they're doing it to make money. No more than that. And even when you get these diet products, all these diet products, they're not doing it because they like you. They're doing it to make money. Otherwise, they wouldn't do it. So I think number one on my list is simply overconsumption of ultra-processed foods.
I like it. I think that education is a big part of it. And I know they push the Eat Well plate a lot in school. And there's food tech lessons where they teach about health and nutrition. But because it's so iffy and no one really knows what's real, and because there's such a big market in it, no one can confidently say, just eat less. There's not an official thing to say, and the government don't make it easy, and I don't think people really know how to eat healthy. And just to say, as you were saying a second ago, so junk foods make you feel bad, eating healthy makes you feel good. But what if I'm someone who can't afford to eat healthy? Is it my fault that I'm not earning enough? Or is it the government's fault for not teaching me what's right and wrong?
But again, all this can't afford to eat healthy, a bag of frozen vegetables,
yeah,
it's not expensive. And they're so easy to cook. You just boil them up. So easy to cook. But there is no single fat loss diet that suits everybody. Now, here at DBPT, we don't teach people what to eat. We don't tell them what to eat. We teach them more how to eat. So no single diet is more healthy than another. It depends on you. So, for example, a vegan diet can be extremely unhealthy because a vegan diet could just comprise of ultra-processed foods to an extent. And I can honestly say 50% of the vegetarians I've trained don't eat vegetables. So, yeah, it's crazy, but it's true. It's a true fact. A lot of vegetarians don't eat vegetables. They just live on potatoes and cakes and biscuits and things like that. So, in that case, is a vegan diet better for you than a meat diet? Well, no, it's not. Yes, I understand the reasons behind being a vegan, but if it's going to make you ill and put you in a bad place where you potentially could get a chronic disease, serious disease, then it's not good for you, is it? No. Vegan or not. You're best off eating meat, really. I know you're saving that, but you're not saving yourself. So I don't think a diet's individually based around you, but generally it does involve a calorie deficit, doesn't it? Nutrition does matter, of course. You've got to eat nutritious foods, 100%. But when it comes to losing body fat, it is all about calories. And again, you find a lot of them in ultra-processed foods. There's no single best diet, and I think that's why it makes it complicated, maybe, Cade? What do you reckon?
Yeah. Well, I think going back to veganism quickly, I think there's two types of vegan which I've came into contact with, and it's the type which I agree with. They're vegan because they don't agree with the way animals are treated, perhaps how they're farmed. And then there's the other type of vegan, which inherently is someone that's quite lazy and doesn't want to eat much. Do you get what I'm saying?
I do think
eat a lot of pasta.
A lot of people become vegetarians.
So they have to eat.
It's like an eating disorder.
Yeah.
They really don't want to eat a lot, so they become a vegetarian. So they can drop more food groups sometimes. I'm not anti-vegan. I'm not anti anything.
Not at all.
I'm not anti any of them. Some days we eat only fruits and vegetables. I drop meat, but not all the time. So I'm not anti any single diet, but I think it's a very individual thing.
But there is something behind it with people that want to limit their food group. Some people that are fat. Sorry, I should use the correct term. Obese, overweight. That think, oh well, I'm going to become a vegan, so I don't have to eat food. So then I'll drop weight. I feel like that's I'm going to go vegan is an excuse for them to try and lose weight. So I think there's two different categories of vegan: the real vegan and the fake vegan.
Yeah. So so we've covered ultra processed foods as being one, and lack of education. There's so much crap out there available to us. All these different diet programs, people just trying to make money out of other people. But I can tell you, I'll shout this till I'm blue in the face. It is about calories in versus calories out. It's not what you eat, it's how much you eat. So it doesn't matter what diet you're on, as long as you're in a calorie deficit, you will lose weight. It does get a bit more complicated depending on your metabolism. So if you've been overeating for a long period of time, your metabolism will adapt to match the food intake. So then to lose weight, you have to eat even less, which is just not healthy. So there's a little bit more calories in versus calories out. Yep, 100%. can be a little bit more complicated if someone's been under eating for a long period of time, but that's for another podcast. Right, let's think. Other reasons. Oh, lack of activity.
Oh, yeah.
Now, it's not as easy as saying eat less and do more. It's a big saying, isn't it? Eat less, do more, eat less, do more. Well, yeah. Yeah, I mean, simplistic. Will that work? Yeah, it will. But it's a bit more complicated than that. But there is more of a lack of activity, and I know that because I see it. I'm old, and and we were never in a house when we were young. We used to say, Mum, can we stay outside, please? Can we stay out longer? Mum, do you know you've got to come in for your tea? No, I don't want to come in. I want to stay out. Now, majority, not all. Don't tell me your kids are active. I know that. But the majority of children now, it's the opposite. You have to throw them out.
Yeah.
Not bring them in.
But Mum, I just want to play the PS4 just a little bit longer. 1 more hour, please.
And there's definitely more of that. Children do not have enough free time to go out and, we get scared of letting kids out on their own, which is terrible. I mean, it's still pretty safe out there. But we are more inactive now. And we say a lot of our clients, they sit behind a computer all day long. They get home and say how tired they are. Then they sit all night long. They're not actually doing anything. They're mentally tired, not physically tired. So
I love that. That's a really good statement, that is.
Well, it's common, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's so common.
No, it is.
Yeah,
it
mentally tired, not physically tired. We are meant to move and groove. We're meant to hunt and forage. So, yeah, we're not moving enough. We're not.
Yeah.
It's definitely got worse, and adults as well as children. I definitely see it in children, and I see it through children's biomechanics as well. Like we see a lot more kyphosis with children now.
Yeah, that's horrible seeing that as well.
Yeah, well, they're bent over a computer or over their phone all the time, so that's becoming more common, which is linked again to sitting down and not actually going out and physically moving.
But it's not complex with activity. We've said it before on a previous podcast, and I'll say it again on here. It's simply getting up out of your desk every 15 minutes or so to grab a drink, go to the toilet. If you're at an office job or you're working from home, just get up and have a walk around. Run up and down the stairs a few times. Simple as that. You don't need to go and do a marathon or something exaggerated as that. It's simply just moving more in the day and being more active. Because nowadays, when you're on computer, when you're sitting down, you'll just sit there for hours and hours and hours on end, and it's not good for the body. And that's how kyphosis happens. That's how putting on weight happens. You need to keep active in the day, and it's as simple as going for a walk every so often.
And it really is. That's a great point. It's not the big things you do in the day. Running once a week's not going to have much effect at all. In fact, exercise is not great for fat loss. But doing small things all day long can have a great effect. They accumulate over the day. So as Kate said, get up, run up down the stairs, drink loads of water, so that makes you wee more, so you have to go to the toilet. Even if you work from home or you're in an office, you don't really give a shit. Go down, do 20 push-ups, do some jumping jacks, do some burpees. Just do small amounts all day long, because over the day they do make a difference.
And not just for yourself, but for your work as well. Say you are at work. If you keep staring at a computer for hours on end, your efficiency is not very good at all. If you keep walking around, you keep yourself nice and fresh all day, and you're nice clear head, and you'll work better. You'll come home and you'll want to do more. You're not going to get home and think, right, that's it, I'm going to bed. You want to get home and you want to do more of your life. It's not just physical, it's mental as well, which I thought I'd bring in.
Yeah, so physical activity, that's another thing. Has decreased. We can see that. So it doesn't help to the weight gain. I think there's mental issues as well. Yeah. People eat. Let's face it. Food. The body only sees the food as energy. It only knows it as energy, but you perceive it as enjoyment. If you're happy, you go out and eat. If you're sad, you eat. So food is a turning point that you just turn to when you have emotional issues of some kind.
Different foods release serotonin in your body that will make you enjoy. So chocolate's one of them. And these quick foods that are high in calories, they make you feel good. And I think that's why people indulge in them more.
Yeah, so I think there is the emotional effect there as well, that people just turn to food when they're going through some form of emotion, which needs to be addressed with people. Why are you doing that? Most people know they're overeating, or they're eating too much so-called junk foods, but they continue to do it. Why do they continue to do it? Well, that's our job at DBPT to figure that out. But generally, that's what happens. So there are mental issues to overeating as well. And as anxiety is booming in this country, of course, does overeating, if you get anxious, do you turn to food?
Yeah, that's true.
Chances are yes.
Yeah, because if you don't have parents in your life, or you don't have friends, close friends, people turn to food. Food is their best friend.
Yeah.
Sometimes. I'm just quickly going back to what I said earlier. I said serotonin. I meant endorphins. I said the wrong word. Sorry.
That's all right.
Continue.
We'll slap you later.
Yeah, God, I deserve it.
Okay, so yeah, the mental aspects. Okay, so any other things do we think?
Inactivity.
What else?
Oh, the availability of food now. How you can order things to your house and.
Oh, it's crazy, isn't it? You literally have an app. You haven't got to leave your
No, you
chair.
don't. No.
You can sit on with your phone on your lap, and you can order food. Pretty much anything you have to do is get out of the chair and go to the door.
Yeah.
Because you can order it via an app, because it's so easy to get food delivered to you. You're not even moving to get it. There's definitely no hunt and foraging anymore, is there?
But your Tesco delivery, Asda delivery, you can get pizza, Chinese, anything you want, a click of a button. And it's quite scary, really, because you no longer have to get up and hunt for food, which is the natural thing we would do in nature. Is you'd grab your spear and you'd go and find a pig. But you don't even have to get up out of your seat now. You just order it on your phone. So that completely gets rid of your activity.
And while I'm thinking of another one, which we've worked with loads of clients over the years. A lot of it is lack of time. People, we've had it so much.
They think it's lack
of time. I have never ever met anyone that's not busy. Everyone's busy. I've never met anyone, and I've met people that don't work. They literally don't have a job. They're at home, and their children have left home, and I don't know what they do, but they're still too busy. People seem very busy, and they're too busy to eat well. Well, I always say you don't have to. If you're busy, you should eat less, really. So because they're busy, they grab snacks. They just eat processed foods. Or sometimes you're better off not to have those snacks, just not eat at all. Don't be scared not to eat and just wait for your evening meal. But I think a lot of it is. It's more of an excuse, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, I haven't
laziness.
I'm too busy to organise my food. I'm too busy to do that. I'm too busy to prepare my food. Well, preparing food doesn't take long at all. I've been doing it for 6 years. It doesn't take long to whack up a Tupperware dish of salad or something like that, whatever you want. So we do have that, and it's more of an excuse. Make time. If you want to lose weight, if you want to be good at something, you've got to put some effort into it. You're not going to get there without a bit of effort. You can't lose weight without effort. It's just not. There is no magic pill, potion, or lotion. It is going to take some effort. But the rewards are huge. I mean, one of them is you're going to live longer. Mm-hmm. I mean, as we said, being obese is the number one cause of mortality now. It's linked to more deaths than anything else. Heart disease, all these different things, all majority linked to obesity. So, what other reason do you need? Then make time. Prepare your food. Don't use the excuse, I'm too busy or I don't have time. Because, hey, when you die, you're going to have plenty of time on your hands, aren't you?
I think, just going off topic, but also staying on topic a little bit. I don't know if you guys have seen the movie WALL-E, but a really good example of how I think humans going to be like in the future. There are humans in the movie, but they don't walk. Everyone's in little hover wheelchairs because they're all fat. They don't walk anymore. And I think that our environment now, that our life we live in, 2019, in this day, everything is so convenient. Everything you do around you, transport, food, everything is with convenience now. You don't have to walk anywhere. It's just there for you. So then I feel like people treat exercise and diet the same way. They think, oh, well, I can just get surgery for this, or I don't have to wait for this. I feel that everyone's got this convenient mentality where they just think, oh, well, this doesn't mean anything. I can do this easily. But it's not. And what Dad said the other day, we're in the cinema, actually. We're about to watch a movie, Joker, which is really good. We were about to watch it, and then this advert came on about children dying of starvation. And as it ended, bit edgy, Dad, he didn't shout out, but he raised his voice and said, "What about the people that are obese?" Which is true. People are overeating themselves to death, probably more than their starvation at this point.
Oh, more people die in the world from obesity than do from lack of food now.
There's always adverts on starvation, but where's the ones about obesity? Where's the ones about the government warning people to stop eating as much because you're killing yourself? You're actually ending your own life by eating food. And it just makes you... That's what I think it's convenience. I really do. People have got so lazy now that they don't even care about what they put in their mouth anymore.
Well, convenience does play a role. Of
definitely.
course, things are much easier to get now. We don't have to hunt and forage anymore. And it's funny because if you look at exercise now, it's a stressor on the body, but it's a good stressor. Because we don't do anything, we need that stress. If primitive man knew that we had to go to a gym to exercise,
Probably laugh.
he'd think it was hilarious.
Yeah.
He has to run 20 miles to catch something to eat. He would laugh. It's ridiculous. But that's what we're down to now. We have to do some form of exercise because our body's built for it. A big thing we do at DBPT is just we teach people, we just want you to get stronger. Mm-hmm. Just get stronger. Because that sends a signal to the body that you still need it. It reverses biological aging.
And the body is one big adaptogen. And if you give it that environment where it's constantly being tested, where you're lifting weights, and the body has to get stronger so it can lift the heavy weights. If you're not doing anything every day, then your body adapts to not doing everything all day. So that's what we do with our clients. We want to get them strong. So exercise hurts. It's tough sometimes. It's challenging. But doing that to your body makes your body stronger.
And again, if you sit all day long, you get good at sitting. It's as simple as that.
Yeah.
So, unfortunately, your body is built to do something. And another saying we have lots of sayings here, as you can tell, but another saying we have is doing nothing is not an option.
No.
You can't do nothing and get away with it. There will be implications of doing nothing. So simply exercising, definitely resistance training, weight training has a great effect on the body. Right, okay, so I think we've covered...
That's pretty much it.
So we covered a few topics there of why we're overweight. It is a complex subject. It doesn't seem to be getting better. So in a nutshell, what do you do? Well, calorie deficit does matter. Ensure you're in a calorie deficit. Mm-hmm. Stay away. I say to the clients initially, a lot of people come up to me and say, "Oh, I want to lose weight. What do I do?" I might get someone in the street ask me. And the first thing I say is tidy up the weekends. Just tidy up your weekends. There's a good place to start. Most people tell me how good they are in a week, and then they get to the weekend and they go raving nuts.
It's all undone.
Yeah. So start by tidying up your weekends. Count your calories. See what you're consuming. Make sure you're in a calorie deficit to lose weight. Check your habits in. Are you eating loads of biscuits and things, and change that. Get a bit more active. Do a little bit more in the day. Get up. Walk a bit more. Just do a bit more in the day. Try to help with your mental health issues. Now, try and find out what's going to calm you. Maybe reading a book or something is going to make you feel better rather than turning to food. If you get hungry or you're going to turn to junk foods, maybe go for a nice walk, get some fresh air. It'll be really good for you.
I think staying busy is properly, truly busy, because I figure when I'm not doing anything, my mind starts to wander. I'm like, oh, what can I go eat? If you stay busy, because I've fasted some days, and when I fast, if you just keep busy, then you just forget about food. Obviously, I don't recommend you fast. That's quite an advanced thing to do. But I'm just in terms of what I've done. If you fast, you'll get hungry, of course. But if you keep active and you keep busy in the day, then you don't think about food. And just in general, if you sit down, you'll just want to eat. You'll want to drink. You'll want to
and again
consume something. Yeah.
On the back of that, Cade, I think everyone should feel hungry at some point. Yeah. I don't think you should be scared of feeling hungry. You're not going to die. You can go weeks without food. So don't be scared of being a bit hungry. I think everyone should feel hungry every now and then.
Yeah. We keep using the caveman example. Can we give him a name?
Of the caveman?
Yeah.
What should we call him?
What do you want to call him?
Eric.
Eric the caveman.
Yeah, Eric the caveman.
Okay, that's cool. So Eric, he's going to hunt a pig. He's going to cook it up and eat it. He won't eat for another day until he finds another pig. But in this day and age, we graze. We're grazers. We constantly eat snack. And I can't remember what it was from, but the lion doesn't snack before it eats a gazelle. Was this what I can't remember? Have you heard that? I can't remember what the phrase was, but it's like a lion doesn't snack all day before it hunts down the gazelle. You have a big meal and then you'll go without food for a while, and you should be hungry.
Biologically, we're built to go without food.
Yeah, definitely.
That's what body fat is. Body fat is energy storage. Yeah. It's energy storage, and the trouble is because we're over consuming all the time, we're never using that backup storage. We're never going in the cupboard to get the extra food out because we're just over consuming. So so I think we've covered some things. Any questions, obviously hook us up. I hope that's been a bit helpful.
I mean, give us some topics as well. We'll talk about anything. If there's something you want to hear us talk about, we'll study it, we'll research it, and we'll answer questions. Just ping us some topics and that. No one's probably watching this, but if you are, please send us a message. Please send us a message.
We try to make things simplistic. We look at the studies available to us and we try to just simplify things to make it easy for you to understand. Because it can be complex. It can be very complex. And some of these people overcomplicate it as well. They do it on purpose. They can make money on it. It's not that complicated. But it is hard. Again, hey, if it was easy, Kate, 67% of the population would be overweight and obese.
That is very true. Yeah.
So there you go. Let's leave it on that note then, shall we?
Awesome. Well, thank you guys for listening. Have a lovely rest of your day. Stay awesome, and we'll be back soon with another podcast.
Okay, guys. Bye-bye, y'all.
Bye. 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 Bye.